Welcome to Word with a Twist Tarot with me, Kev. Today we're going to do another deck walkthrough, and this time we're going to look at the Golden Tarot of the Tsars. And I believe I got this from Llewellyn, actually. This is the box that comes in. There's 78 cards. Has both the major and the minor arcana. This is the front of the box, I believe. I can't remember what I paid for this. Again, all these decks that I'm sharing to date, I'm purchasing out of pocket. This is from Little Scarab. Again, really beautiful box. And the deck is kind of a little bit religious in nature in a sense. This is the booklet that comes with it. And it gives you a little bit of history, a spread you can do, interesting looking spread, introduction and instructions on how to do the spread. And then from there, it goes into the different cards. Now, the cards are a little bit different than what we're used to seeing. So rather than the Fool being 0, they call the possession of Geraza the actual Fool. And then you go through, it also shows you the minor arcana as well as you scroll through this little book here. Okay, so that's the book that comes with it. Then they also have these really two nice front and back cards. And I actually use these to protect the deck. So what I do is I put one on top of the deck, one on the bottom, and when I put it back in the box, it doesn't get damaged. So I find these actually quite useful. I don't throw them away. I actually do use them to protect the deck. And that's the back of the cards, as you can see. Interesting little symbols on the back there. Kind of cool. And the cardstock, it's actually pretty nice. Now, I haven't used this deck really. I've used it one time, I think, just once for a one of my card of the day or mess of the day spreads, but I haven't done that in a while. I'll bring that back here real soon. Been kind of busy with my newsletter. I'm trying to now set the newsletter where I'm going to offer everybody here, if they want to join for, I think it's like $7.99 a month or $69.99 a year. I can't remember the price. You can go there and look. But you could, I think it's 20% I set it to, or 25% off all my readings. I have it all documented on my website. So if you go to wordofthetwist.substack.com, you can check that out. And I also will have like any poems I've written or short stories that are behind my paywall. You have access to that. In addition to, I'm starting to actually going to take all my notes I've collected over the years, converting them to articles, and then sharing them on my newsletter. But most of that content will be paid because I spent a lot of time researching, studying, buying books, and so forth. Anyway, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this this review here. So we're going to start with the major arcana right here. And card number 0 is the Fool. But in this deck here, they call this card not the Fool, but the possession of Geraza. And what they say on the positive side of this card, if you get this card, it's about recovering of psychological issues or a return to health. And then on the flip side, the negative, it says it's all about being in slavery, being in delusions, madness, or some type of a possession. Anyway, that's the Fool. And you look at the card, the gold folding, it's just beautiful on this card as well. After that, we're going to go to the Magician, which they call here the Resurrection of Lazarus. Do you see the card there? I find that quite interesting. It's funny how they put the Magician with the resurrection of Lazarus. I find that actually quite interesting. Card number 2, which is the High Priestess. They call this Saint Paraskiva. Now, I may not pronounce that right, but that's what the card is called. You can see the beautiful gold foil all over these cards. Just gorgeous. I'm afraid to even use them because they're so pretty. Okay, card number 3 is the Virgin with the Baby, which is the Empress. So that's Mary with Jesus. Look at that card. That's just gorgeous. What better Empress card than that? And they say that this card in the upright position is all around work destined to last, prosperity and revelation. But if it's in the upside down position, is difficulty in completing something or being full of doubts and ignorance. So it kind of aligns with the Rider-Waite decks as well. Okay. 4 is the Emperor. And the Emperor is whom? And this deck's the Holy Savior. And you see a hand symbol? I believe that means like, hey, listen, I got something to tell you. I believe that's what that symbol means. I have to look it up again, but I looked at that the other day, and it's funny I actually came across that. Even though I wasn't even going to review this deck, I figured, you know what, why not? Since Easter's here, and what better deck to review Easter than with this one right here? Then we're going to go to card number 5, which is the Hierophant, and they call this the Apostle Peter. After that, you have 6, which is the Lovers, and this is the Annunciation. After that, we have 7, the Chariot, which they call the Ascension of Elijah. That's just beautiful. Then we're going to go to Justice, which in this deck is the 8, and they call that the Archangel Michael. If you look real close here on the side, right there, it says Justice. So that's where you're going to get the name of the card. But in the booklet, they call it the Archangel Michael. Then we're going to go to 9, which is the Hermit. And for this card, you get Saint John the Baptist. A little closer, you can see a detail on these cards. See a detail on that card? Absolutely stunning. Look at the blues. Gorgeous. And what's the color of blue? Royalty. Wisdom. Peace. And isn't that what the Hermit's all about? Seeking inner wisdom, inner peace. St. John the Baptist. Interesting. Card number 10 is the Wheel of Fortune. And here they call this card the Archangel Gabriel. Then 11. Ooh. 11 is strength in this deck. And they call this St. George and the Dragon. Look at that. The detail on that card. Isn't that just gorgeous? Look at the horse. The dragon. I love the artwork in this deck. And of course, you can see right there, strength. After 11, you have 12, which is the Hangman, which I find interesting. They call this one Saint Nicotus. Hope I pronounced that right. And what this card's all about is sacrifice for an ideal. It can tie in with the supernatural. And of course, it's an initiatory rite, a rite into something, your initiation, divination as well, or an exorcism. And then in reverse, it's about atonement of sins, imprisonment, or great pain. After that, we have card number 13. One of my favorite cards, the Death card. Isn't that cool? Check it out. Get the focus here for us. Look at the detail on that card. Look at the gold leafing too. See the images in there as well? Just brilliant. Look at that right there. Absolutely fast. That's the angel. You see the wings of the angel right here? Right through here? I need to really study this deck before I use it, but it's a beautiful deck. After Death, we have 14, Temperance, or Saint Sophia, or Sophia. After that, we have 15, the Devil. Isn't that cool? 16 is the Tower. And this one is called Saint Simon and the Stylite. I pronounced that right again. Apologize if I didn't. But this is the Tower in this deck. After the Tower, we have 17, the Star. But in this deck, it's called the Holy Trinity, the birth of Jesus. And what they say the star is all about, they say it's a brilliant idea, a positive sign, and generous help or spiritual gifts. And then in the negative, it's about resignation, bad premonitions, or loss of lucidity. After that, you have the 18, which is the Ascension, which is the moon. After the moon, you have 19, the Holy Trinity, which is the sun. That's life, vitality. After the sun, you have 20, which is the Judgment. And then after Judgment, you have the 4 Evangelist, which is the world. Okay, now we're going to move into the minor arcana and compare those side by side. Move out of the way a little bit. Let's see, we have the pentacles and the wands and the swords and the cups. And these are the aces. Move them here. All right, so the pentacles is here. And then the wands with the swords and the cups of the ace of swords and the ace of cups. And again, these also have different names. Like, for example, in the pentacles, it's the Archangel Michael and Gabriel, whereas, we just call it the ace of cups, ace of pentacles, and so forth. So there's some really interesting names for each of these cards. I'm not going to go over that right now. I'll just show the cards. This is the two of pentacles and the two of wands. And then you have the two of swords and the two of cups. After that, you have the three of pentacles and the three of wands. Then the three of swords and the three of cups. It's funny, with the three of swords, they say it's a heartbreak card, and what a better way than to see the figures that we know as Adam and Eve ashamed of being in their bare essence in the garden. Isn't that kind of like what the three of swords is about? The mind gets the best of you. The mind got the best of them. Interesting. Then we have the four of pentacles and the four of wands. The four of swords and the four of cups. That's kind of cool. The five of pentacles and the five of wands. And then the five of swords and the five of cups. Struggle. Interesting, huh? Beautiful cards, though. The six of pentacles and the six of wands. And the six of swords and the six of cups. The seven of pentacles and the seven of wands. With the seven of swords and the seven of cups. Then we move into the eight of pentacles and the eight of wands. And after that, we have the eight of swords and the eight of cups. The nine of pentacles and the nine of wands. And then the nine of swords and the nine of cups. And then the tens, the completion of the cycle. The 10 of wands is interesting. The 10 of pentacles, oops, right there. And the 10 of swords, carrying the cross, burden, let somebody else carry it for you. That's an actually pretty amazing depiction of what the 10 of wands is all about. It is really letting that burden go and let somebody else carry it for you. Then we have the 10 of swords and the 10 of cups. Happy family. See that? Now we're going to go into the court cards. We'll start with the page of swords and the page of wands. The page of, did I say swords? It's a page of pentacles. Sorry about that. I was looking at the sword. I wasn't even paying attention. Page of pentacles. And the page of wands. The page of swords and the page of cups. Then we have the knight of pentacles and the knight of wands. The knight of swords and the knight of cups. It's kind of hard to tell the difference because, at first you glance, you think it's a wand, but it's not. It's the cups in his hand right there. So you got to really pay attention. It almost got me twice again. So again, the sword and the knight of cups. I almost said it again. Then we're going to move into the queen of pentacles and the queen of wands. And then we have the queen of swords and the queen of cups. And lastly, we have the kings, the king of pentacle and the king of wands. And the king of swords and the king of cups. Alrighty then, I hope you enjoyed this little deck walkthrough of the Golden Tarot of the Tsar. I'll probably end up doing some readings here shortly with this deck, but I gotta study it because the meanings are quite different than what the Rider Waite is. For example, in this deck here, they don't have reversals for the minor arcana. For example, in the Pentacles, they have the two of Pentacles, and here's where people. The other deck is about the juggler juggling the balance with the ship in the background, the water rocky, making a decision, juggling with the infinity symbol, as well. In this deck here, the 2 is called David Plays the Horn, and it's about being lightheartedness, being thoughtlessness, or simplicity. So they're only giving you the upside right. So what you want to do, if, for example, you want to read the reversals on this deck, you're going to have to use your intuition and also just use reverse meaning. So if it's 2 of Pentacles, which is called David Plays the Horn, it's upside down, it's all about, it's hard to play that horn. It's not simple, it's tough, right? So the 2. See David's playing the horn right there in the 2. So it's upside down. That means that it's a time of difficulty, so you can't hit those musical notes. Think about it. When you're trying to play a trumpet or something like that, if you can't get the notes right, it sounds terrible. So upside down, terrible hardship. Trying to be thoughtful to get those notes, but you quite can't get them. Upside right, you're just blowing the horn. You don't really care. You're lighthearted, and you don't give a thought. It's just, you're just simple. You're just, tooting away, and whatever happens, happens. Whatever comes out, comes out. And you're just good to go with that. Anyway, that's this deck here. And if you did enjoy this little walkthrough, please give it a like, hit the subscribe button as well, and drop a comment below because I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think about this? Do you like it? Was it cool? Is this something you'd want to purchase for yourself? And again, I got it on Llewellyn, and I believe it was, I want to say $29, I'm guessing here. I'm not quite sure, but I'm going to guess in the $20, maybe $30 range. Anyway, it's a really beautiful deck, and the story in the intro is definitely worth the read. Anyway, until next time, all my wonderful, lovely friends and followers, thank you again for following me. For all new here for the first time, I hope you enjoy this. And until next time, I'll see all y'all in the next video. All right, bye-bye, everyone.